Yes, good evening. This is President Run Up Your Mouth. Where did evil come from? Who made evil? I believe God made evil. Excuse me. I burped. The Bible tells us about evil after the fact when Adam and Eve was in the garden. It is only from henceforth we know about evil. Because the Garden of Eden was pure. And Satan went to woman. Well, it said, God said, of every tree thou shalt eat, except for one tree. But Satan come and tell woman, eat that tree there. Because the flesh was pure in the Garden of Eden. It is only when Satan come and tell woman, whisper to woman, and then woman went and whispered to her husband, it is from henceforth the flesh was impure. Because man was naked, and man didn't even realize he was naked. And it is after the whisper from Satan to woman and woman to man, man realized he was naked. So the conscience and the choice that mankind had prior to that, he didn't even have it. Because he was naked, his balls was outside, he didn't even know his balls was outside. It is only after Satan tell woman to nyam the apple and woman bring it to her husband and they nyam it together and they say, oh God, look my balls there do. I need to go get leaf and cover them. Now let's rewind a little bit. Rewind a little more. We there in heaven now. Out of all the cherubims and seraphims and cherubs, there is Satan, the most beautiful, to perfection. But out of all of them that in heaven, why he was to perfection? Was God aware of the failed coup? I believe he was, because God is in know of everything. Even before some of us leave to go and do a deed, God already know we're going to do the deed. It's already written in stone somewhere, or written on a mountain, or written in the bottom of the ocean, or written in the Sahara Desert somewhere under some sand or some boulder. So you can't do nothing about something that was already written. His prophecy have to be fulfilled. It's already written. He already know about it. So when he made Satan at the time, which was beautiful and pure at the time, and somebody go quick, oh God, that man did it on Facebook, what make he just say dwell pan Satan so? And some of that same one we utter the same words, they do Satan deeds, but they quick for condemn and run up their mouth, just like a may run up for me now. So when he makes Satan, I believe he make Satan with evil inside of Satan. And it's God that make evil. Because if God didn't make evil, then there is a next God somewhere that the Bible doesn't tell us about. When God makes Satan, he makes Satan with the evil inside of him. But unaware to Satan that at some point in the time being in heaven, the pride never gets to his head, or the evil never gets to his head to watch God and say, I will overthrow God. I want my throne to be higher than his. It's God that make him. So God had to make the evil inside of him. And Satan was unaware at the time that one day he will overthrow God and become Lucifer. He wasn't aware of it at one point in heaven. I believe so. The Bible doesn't give us clarity on that. It gives us clarity. He overthrew God. The coup failed. He was cast out. And then mankind come, and then he whispered to woman, and from henceforth the flesh is intoxicated. So God had to make evil. If God didn't make evil, he have more than one God. And then one point Satan say, you know what? You go and whisper to some angels over there. He look like he like to whisper. Say, yo, tomorrow we're going to run things. We're going to try to overthrow God, and we're going to, take over this. But God already know all these things. Them thing already written in stone somewhere, or written underneath a boulder somewhere, or written in the Sahara somewhere, or written in the bottom of the ocean somewhere. Scripture was already written, so scripture have to be fulfilled. This is what I believe. And I'm making the video because I want all you to tell me if I lying, but don't condemn me, because I find in my way of seeking the true Messiah. Not the one that only want to tell me he's all loving. No, he's not all loving. He's the greatest general there is. He's capable of the most any atrocity that man can ever think man can think. But the Bible there to tell of his atrocities, but they don't put it in as atrocities. When he destroyed the world the first time with flood, what is that? Is that a good deed? But they go say, a picnic can question the papa. At one point, a picnic could not question the papa. But right now, picnic question the papa. When we talk to my son right now, it's like having a conversation pretty much. Like when me tell you certain song, you have to tell me have to say them in a certain way. And he's right. At one point, I couldn't ask our mama, I couldn't ask our papa a certain question. When they tell you run your back, say that for run. Now, if we want to seek God, we have to find ways in seeking God. But if you're going to know God, how are you going to know God if you don't know who Satan is? And how are you going to know who Satan is if you don't know who God is? It's not every light you see is God. You could see a light and it's a Satan light you're seeing, but how are you going to know if you don't know the difference? Like what is going on in the world, and a lot of us Christians get caught up in it. And we get certain hints about the wheats and the weeds among the wheats. And do you go and pluck up the weed, or you wait for the harvest? When you pick the wheat, and then you pull up all the weeds, and then you burn them. How about the seeds? How about the sower that went to sow seeds? And on his way, some seeds fell on rocks and they grew, but when the sun rose, it scorched them and they withered away and died. Which seed are you? How about the seeds between thorns? Those seeds grew, but when the thorns grew, it choked them and they withered away and died. How about the seeds that fell in good soil? And they grew and brought forth 10,000-fold. Look at what is going on in the world today, ladies and gentlemen. Which seed are you? Don't quick to judge and quick to cast out who is going into hell and who is going into heaven. Because sometimes the one we cast out to go and lay in hell already have a bed in heaven. And the one that we think have a bed in heaven is hell he going. Don't pay attention to just words. Actions speak louder than words. All you know, I like my feedback, Some of all you scared to feedback. All afraid about other people. All you have too much of pride, or maybe all you want to get caught up in it. How about the Good Samaritan? How about this cornerstone? The builder refused. All these are hints. God created evil. Why did God make evil? He made it for a reason. And if he didn't, there is more than one God. Tomorrow I will talk about the book of Enoch. Have a good night.